Bacteria and viruses are pathogens that can cause disease. Bacteria are prokaryotic cells with a circular piece of DNA, whereas viruses are just a protein case or coating or capsid surrounding a bit of DNA or RNA. Viruses can't reproduce themselves, and so they need to inject their genetic material into cells to hack them into making more copies of the virus. If it does this by the lytic cycle, the cell bursts, this is lysis, to release these copies. However, the viral DNA can also just integrate into the host genome in a cell where it can lie dormant until it switches to lytic, usually due to environmental factors. If you're infected with bacteria or a virus, your body jumps into action. First, your immune system identifies them as foreign microbes thanks to antigens on their surfaces, proteins unique to each type. Your body's immediate response is just to turn it into a hostile environment for these invaders. Inflammation occurs when tissue is damaged, releasing histamines, causing vasodilation and increasing permeability of blood vessels, so white blood cells and antibodies flow into the infected area. Enzymes called lysozymes are secreted at a greater rate. These damage bacterial cell walls. Interferons are proteins that prevent viral DNA being used to synthesize more copies. One type of white blood cell are phagocytes, the grunts of your immune system. These ingest or engulf a pathogen, and the lysozymes within digest it. All of these are therefore non-specific responses. But phagocytes aren't dumb. They will also act as a warning system by taking the antigens and presenting them on their surface, almost like a head on a pike. It tells the immune system who it's at war with. Lymphocytes then get involved by putting into motion a surgical strike to destroy the specific pathogen. There are two different types. Once a phagocyte presents an antigen, a T cell will pick it up. Then it produces clones of itself that do different jobs. Killer T cells destroy infected cells, helper T cells stimulate division of T and B cells to create more copies, and memory T cells are those that stay in your lymph nodes with a copy of the antigen that led to its production, so the immune system response is faster next time your body is infected with that specific pathogen. Whereas T cells are part of what we call the cell-mediated response, B cells act through humoral response. A B cell will engulf its matching antigen, and it then presents it on its surface too. A matching mature T cell will then bind to the B cell, causing the B cell to mature into an antibody-producing cell. An antibody comprises 4 polypeptides in a Y shape, the exact shape of which complements a specific antigen, both free and those on the surface of the pathogen. Once an antigen-antibody complex is made, they can clump cells together thanks to the fact that each antibody has 2 binding sites. Immunity is achieved once the correct antibodies are able to be produced such that the pathogen cannot inflict its disease. This is active immunity. If antibodies from another organism are injected to combat a pathogen, this is passive immunity. Active immunity can be achieved with a vaccine, which is a dead or inactive or inert version of a virus. Say it's been irradiated to destroy the genetic material. But the antigens on the pathogens will be untouched, allowing memory cells to be produced before the real thing comes along. mRNA vaccines, like the one you likely took a few years ago, work differently though. The genetic code for the creation of the antigen is injected, which moves into your cells where it's used to synthesize it. So we're essentially hacking our cells in a similar way to what a virus does. The idea then is that these antigens trigger the immune response. Antibiotics can combat bacterial infections as they destroy bacterial cell walls, but as viruses don't have those, they're useless against them. We have the technology to clone huge numbers of a specific B cell that produces a specific antibody. It involves making hybridoma cells derived from cancer cells. These monoclonal antibodies can be used to target cancer cells that have a certain antigen. This is an example of direct therapy, whereas indirect therapy involves binding drug molecules to the antibodies, which are taken to the site where the drug is needed. They can also be used with a dye or tracer so we can see where they're building up, and they're used for pregnancy kits too. AIDS stands for Acquired Immune Deficiency Syndrome, caused by the virus HIV, Human Immunodeficiency Virus. The virus's capsid bonds to and fuses to T helper cells, and its reverse transcriptase converts RNA to DNA that enters the nucleus. The cell thinks this is legit, and it starts using this sequence for synthesizing the proteins needed for more HIV. It's therefore called a retrovirus, and so therefore antiretroviral drugs are used to combat it. So I hope you found that helpful. Leave a like and a comment if you did, and don't forget to check out our revision app to help you test your knowledge. Links in description.